It's your boy, the one Joey V.
This is Boss Dog Cigars.
This is Quentin Moore chilling in the Cigar Lounge. Have a drink with your boys and tune in. Yeah.
What up, everybody? This is Cigar Loungin podcast. I'm your host, the local hero, here with my co-host, B1, a.k.a. The Altar. Bring your problems to me. Your problems to fuck over there. Now, we're here with a special guest. This man, he has a nice cigar. Nice cigar, you know. I might have partaked in it, I might have enjoyed it thoroughly, Fresh off PCA, fresh off partying all night like a rock star, fresh off of forgetting that he's not 20 years old no more. Lone Wolf, what up, baby?
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Far from 20.
Oh, dude. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes it'd be like 10 o'clock. And I'm like, yeah, I've been out too long.
There was one day we the boy and I walked around PCA. Chuck had gone to the opening thing, and that was too much for her. That was like sensory overload, right? Mm-hmm. So she stayed at the hotel the next day, and the boy and I went around PCA, and he had plans and I had plans of trying to do something that night, and we left the event, and that heat hit you. This is AC inside the hotel casino. You get to the parking garage, that heat hits you. Went back to the hotel, and I don't know. I was like, I'm going to lay down for a minute. Next thing I know, I'm getting a text message from him at 8 o'clock at night going, are you up? I fell asleep. I'm like, no, I fell asleep too.
I definitely feel like I do that a lot. Like, I'll tell people, they'll be like, oh, hey, look, we're going out at like 7. All right, I got you. I'm going to lay down for like 10, 15 minutes, take a quick nap. I'm going to be up. All right. 3 hours later. Bro, where'd you go? Oh, my bad. I fell asleep. I'm not even. Y'all go ahead and cancel me. Like, I'm done. No. Now, we know. Well, actually, I'm going to ask everybody since because people ain't familiar with it. Everybody, what are you guys smoking? I have, since I'm up right now, I got that liquid, that acid liquid. You know me. I smoke acids all the time.
In the hot pass, of course.
Of course, a hot pass. And I got my medulla.
Oh, nice.
All right. So I had no idea. Well, you was gonna make a cigar. What got you into making? What got you into saying?
You're not the only one that had no idea that I was gonna make a cigar. So we got to go back a year ago. So a year ago, around the same time, some other people have been dropping cigars, and I missed out on the drop. And you guys have all heard the story about Chalk sliding my DMs, offering me cigars. Mm-hmm. She didn't know me. I didn't know her. And I wanted to pay. I don't want stuff for free. I wanted to pay for what she was sending me or send her cigars back. She kept saying, pay it forward, pay it forward, pay it forward. Well, I've been following Danny. You guys know Danny Deez. He's got the November Rose. He's got the Fast Lane. He's got the Borrowed Time. He does stuff for autistic children. Mm-hmm. Gets back to that because his daughter is autistic. I have an autistic grandson. So I was drawn to his cause because of having that in my family. Mm-hmm. And so Chalk tells me, pay it forward. So I've got friends. I'm friends with Cigar Love Affair. I'm friends with Jean-Pierre. They was going to PCA last year, was able to get tickets through them. I paid for my ticket and Danny's ticket and told Danny I had him a way in, and then it was covered. So got Danny to PCA last year. Got to meet the man in person. Got to hang out with him. Got to see how much knowledge he really has on cigars. That man walked around PCA last year just dropping knowledge, talking about stuff with all these different vendors. And I'm standing there going, I just smoked these things.
It looks pretty.
So after PCA last year, started doing more lives with Danny, started being more involved in his brand and what he's doing to promote him because I love the cigars. But he asked me about doing a cigar. And I was like, no, I'm not something I'm looking to do. And I like smoking them. It's not something I'm interested in. I'll support you in what you're doing. And then a few months went by and he asked again. It was the same thing. I want to say he asked 2 or 3 times. And I finally was like, you know what you got in mind? So we sat down and he gave me a breakdown of how everything works as far as cost of different things and what it would take for me to do a cigar. Now, I don't know who his roller and blenders are. I don't know what factory he gets his stuff from. I don't know who does his bands. I do know who does his graphics because the guy cleaned up my logo for me. I created my own UCWI logo, and he cleaned it up, which was phenomenal, way beyond it was what I wanted, but beyond what I thought it would ever happen. So I don't know all his players. Guys know Danny, he keeps that stuff close to his chest, which I'm fine with. But I paid, after getting the blends and picking the cigar, I paid him the money like you're supposed to, right?
Right.
He's doing a cigar for me. I paid him the money for the cigar, for the bands, for the stickers. He had the bags, the boxes, the Bovita, and that kind of stuff. And so he's like, I got that. Let's focus on the things that, need to be paid for up front. So I paid the money up front to get the cigars going. We dropped the cigar that was well received. The bands, as you guys have seen, the stickers and bands, the detail, that's, the graphics man did great. I am a Wizard I Am or something like that is, I think, his name. It's phenomenal work. And we've been going with the Hot Pass since. It's been a fun ride. Everything is under Danny because I don't have a license. So Danny's handling all of the shipping. He's handling all of the website stuff. That's all under him because he's got the license. That's something that I didn't have to do, and he was good taking on that extra work for another cigar to bring me in under the fold because of the autism connection. Now, just like everything else, portion of the proceeds from the Hot Pass go back to the Renaissance Learning Center. And I wasn't going to change a thing.
And let me just say, it is a good cigar. I thoroughly enjoyed it when I had it. Danny D, that motherfucker don't miss, man. Danny D just don't miss. Not gonna lie. He don't miss.
He's been smoking cigars long enough that you think the man's got the right palate to go, this is good, and I think other people won't like it. But I know at the same time when we were going through this, he's like, he also wants something that he likes. Because if other people don't like it, he's got a lot of cigars to smoke.
Yeah. All right, so let me ask you this, because I heard this is what I heard. I heard Daddy D tall as shit though. I heard he's kind of tall.
Oh, he's tall as fuck, dude. Oh yeah. He's tall. He's tall.
I've got a lot of talk to them. They like, I thought Danny D was like 6'3", 6'4". Like, no, Danny D tall. Like,
yeah. Like last year at PCA was like we were hanging out and everything, and I knew I could find him if all I had to do was do this. Like, oh, he's over there.
No, that's cool. That's a cool story, man. Like I said, I didn't. You know how he does. New cigar dropping. I'm like, man, what the fuck he finna drop now? Because I had just had the fast lane. I'm like, what if he dropped now? And then he dropped yours. I'm like, oh shit, okay, all right.
And then not that long after that, he did that Borrowed Time, and I personally love the way he did that with the clocks, trying to guess the name. Yeah. In his different reels was like he put a lot of thought into that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a great marketer. So let me ask you a question: Do you have, or do not have? Do you try to put any input into the marketing strategy, or you just let Danny D say, "Yo, you the marketing dude. I'm gonna smoke him and let people know to go get him."
As far as what he does for his stuff, or what I do for the
it's promoting it. It's promoting it as far as like Instagram, whatever.
As far as promoting it does, we've talked about different ideas. Like I've seen something that's like, hey, I think this is cool. And usually what's funny is when we talk about something, he's already thought about that. So he's already got. So as far as what he does with his marketing, that's guys know he keeps his stuff close to the chest. So what he does is what he does. I did not know he was going to do that with the Borrowed Time. I didn't know it was called the Borrowed Time. Hell, I didn't know I had already smoked the cigar prior to him deciding to drop it because it was one of the 3 test blends that we had smoked when I was choosing mine. He told me that like later that's what it was. So I didn't even know at the time that he was dropping it that I'd already smoked the cigar. So no, then he keeps this stuff close to his chest. As far as marketing for when I'm posting stuff, whether it be his cigars, my cigar, something that Cigar Nut came out with a cigar and to support him, bought his cigar and Chalk was in town. She bought that Samurai Japanese whiskey and he's got a Samurai in his band. And I was like, oh, this would be good. And I put all that together and I did a reel to promote his because it's Chris and it was a good cigar, you know? So I don't normally run my ideas by anybody unless it's Chalk. I like bouncing ideas off of her. And but normally I just like something comes in my head and I try to put it together and it looks right or it don't look right and that's what I go with. So when I finally got something in my hand with a band on it, I couldn't wait to go out on a job site where they were welding because that's a welding symbol. CWI is a certified welding inspector. That's what I do for a living. So I was like, you know, trying to get the welding people into buying our cigars, try to cross communities and help with the sales. Because if they buy mine and like it, then hopefully they'll buy some more of Danny's, what he's got. And then hopefully that'll open them up to trying other stuff that maybe they just don't normally get because they go to the local lounge or local store and buy their cigars that way.
Right. Now, B, you do know you can say all this, right? You don't have to type it in, right? Because nobody going to see this when it's going on YouTube. So,
yeah, they will.
No, they won't. They won't see none of this.
Either way.
See, that's the funny thing. If you guys have talked to Danny, when Danny got into the autism stuff because of his daughter, he told me that he found a lot of people had autistic children and grandchildren that he didn't know about with like personal friends that he worked with because nobody talked about it. So that this opens a door for a lot of people that may not talk about them having an autistic son or daughter or grandkid, and everything's going to this cause, the Renaissance Learning Center for Autistic Children, to help a wide range of autistic children. And it's not just from his cigar sales. It's anything he sells, a portion goes back to that. That Tatuaje raffle, he just did with Pete Johnson and Tatuaje, other than shipping costs, everything. They cut checks to that Renaissance Learning Center. And how many people are actually out there doing that kind of stuff? It's phenomenal.
There's not a lot of people out there. And I think even for me, like something with that, with the autism, I think like even though my son is, I still don't fully understand it. And sometimes like his mom gets mad at me because I still treat him like a normal child because to me he is normal.
Right.
You know, and she always tries to say, oh, well, no, you have to treat him a little bit differently. Well, I kind of don't want him to grow up that way. So like I might still do stuff that I would do with all my other kids.
So I agree with what she says to a point. So on my side, my grandson's autistic and my ex and my daughter treat him a certain kind of way. And it's upsetting to me is because he's autistic. It's like you want to treat them like a normal kid, but there are certain things because they're autistic, depending on the level of their understanding, you have to do it differently so that they understand what you're trying to say. He was on a chair the other day spinning in circles, like a rolling chair. He could have gotten hurt. He thought it was hilarious. They were sitting there yelling at him like they would any other kid. I was on FaceTime. I called him by his name. I was like, hey, you need to sit down so you don't get hurt, okay? They're threatening them to take things away and not give them. I'm sending them some stuff from my trip to Vegas. And they're like, oh, you're not going to get that from Pop. And I'm like, no, you guys don't be threatening with – if Pop sends something, you better get it. You need to talk to him in a different – because his mind is working different than a normal 4-year-old. So you can't – not everything can be treated the same. There is a level that you've got – not saying you dumb it down. I'm saying you just talk to him – in a different way so that they understand what you're trying to say.
Right. And I mean, like for me, like I said, I'm still, my son's 11, but I'm still kind of getting used to it because like he's really sensitive to noise. So sometimes we may go somewhere and it's really loud. Well, to him, it's really loud. To
Right.
me, it's like just it's a normal volume. And, he starts getting like really nervous and I have to catch myself and it makes me feel bad because like I might yell at him and be like, dude, calm down. Like, ain't nothing wrong. Like, it's fine. And then I actually do have to stop and think to myself, okay, you know what? It's fine for me, but to him, this is extremely loud.
Right.
Or it may be 5 people in a room and he gets really nervous.
Now, let me ask you this. Does he have sensory issues too as far as touch?
Yes.
Have you tried putting in places like that earphones over his ears? With no music or nothing, but just earphones over his ears?
Yeah, no, we got those for him too.
Okay.
I do.
That's where I'm saying you got to treat them a little bit different because you don't know what's going through the sensory for them in that situation. Like you said, this ain't loud. The sensory's different on them.
Yeah, for him, that's horrible. That'd be like me blasting my radio and sitting right next to the speaker. But we're talking at a normal volume for him. But no, yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that I think a lot more people need to learn about. Like, even if you don't have an autistic child or a grandchild or whatever, it doesn't hurt to know about it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got a couple friends that got autistic children too. So, yeah, I mean, it was one of them things. I don't know. It just wasn't talked about, like you said, and now I think more attention is being brought to it, which will help people deal with it.
Yeah.
Because you might not, like you said, I don't know how to deal with it because I don't have any autistic children around me, or at least not on that spectrum. So I wouldn't know how to deal with it. So I think Danny Deez bringing attention and education to a situation. Like you said, the man, he's very charitable, nice dude, super nice.
Oh yeah.
I've been alive. Hey, LH, come on, jump in. I'm like, shit, me? Okay. Super nice, man. And you know what? I will say, since I've been on here, Wolf, you, Chuck, anybody I talk to, exception a couple people, most people I talk to, let me rephrase that, are genuinely it's nice people that, that you can go out and have a cigar or have a beer and have a conversation with. And it'd be like like the people I've met when I met Hobo and Messi and all them and Ray and all them, we talk like we fucking knew each other forever because we on here so much. So that's a cool thing about this. So and for instance, so do you find yourself hanging out with Danny more now, or y'all still hang out about the same, but you just got you're more like
technically I do hang out more because I just moved to Sacramento. So before I lived like 6 hours away, but not as much. I mean, I just got settled. I finally got me a place. I've been living in a hotel for 3 weeks since I moved up here. Got in here right before going to PCA. So barely was here a week and then drove to another hotel in Las Vegas. So the actual I'm still getting settled. So the actual being able to go and hang out with him on a regular basis hasn't happened. I see that being easier because I'm up here. But we were since PCA last year. Yeah, we were hanging out on IG a whole lot more. I'm not a camera person. I don't like pictures and things like that. My mom was the same way. And when I met him in person, had such a good time getting to know him and hanging out with him and just listening to his knowledge of cigars last year. Like I made the comment near the end of PCA, it's like, I'm gonna have to do more lives. He's like, you will, not you do, you will, and it has, and it's been a fun ride. Like you said, it's great hanging out with people like you and Mr. Ray. And I'm the same way as you because I travel for work, and so when I travel outside the state of California, I'm looking for lounges now. I'm also looking at who is in this area that I can go meet that I have either talked to on a live or seen in the messages on a live on IG. I went to Portland, Oregon for 2 weeks. I was only supposed to be there a week, ended up being 2. And I met up with 88 Sticks. And if you guys don't know 88 sticks. He's got that man cave behind a bookcase in his basement.
That's what we saw. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
That looked nice.
He's also in a band, Souls Worn Thin. He played some of his music while he's down there. So it's good music. I was like, this is freaking cool as hell. So I started following his band's page. They just dropped a new single on Spotify, and I think it's called Treason. And I listened to it right away, and I'm like, oh, I love this. So I shared that. It's all about helping promote people as far as this platform goes, right? Yeah, I've got a stick that I've got. I want to do well, but I also like the people I'm meeting and hanging out with. So I'm going to promote you. So if I meet you in person and I know you're the same as you are on the live, why wouldn't I promote you and share your stuff?
Right. I mean, and that's, that goes along with something I've always said. Like, there's enough room in every industry for everybody. And you get a lot more by helping other people. Because, it's one of those things where, okay, we talk to you, help you promote your cigars, right? Maybe we come out with ours later on and you do the same. But now, you have more connections. So who knows what could come from that,
Exactly.
I think if people stop being so selfish in this world, it'd be a little bit better.
And even if you don't like the cigars, not every cigar is everybody's palate, right? If you came out a cigar that wasn't my palate, that doesn't mean I'm going to bash your cigar. I'm still going to promote your cigar because it may be somebody else's. It's like, it wasn't my palate, but you may like this. Try this stick. And if I'm sharing your content, I ain't got to say I didn't like it. It's like, hey, I tried this stick. You guys need to try the stick. It's a matter of whether it's your palate or not. And then you got to know by trying it to know if it's your palate, and you're going to get more.
And we do that all the time because even my brother, his palate is way different than mine. We were just out at CI. I found a stick out there. It was kind of like a cream stick. I liked it. He didn't.
It tastes
but that's okay.
Poverty, sir. First of all,
poverty is my life.
It's the poverty stick you were talking about.
I eat my bologna with the crust cut off, all right, and the finest cheese.
Oh, you're right.
With the pinky up, sir. That's number one. All right. No, it is. That's true. And not even that. Your palate just it changes.
Yes.
So what you smoking now, I might have liked that about 5-6 years ago. It's just my palate has changed because I've had so many other different cigars that there's a lot of cigars I used to be like, oh, I'm gonna come back to it, or it was my go-to, and now they're not. It's not even an afterthought anymore. I just walk right past, like, oh, I'm gonna go grab this. So your palate just changes.
Really, Ray?
Yes, Ray. That's what Ray does. That's what Ray does. That is what Ray does. No, but yeah, it's just like I said. I try not to badmouth people's products. Like I just like I just didn't like it. It just wasn't for me.
Right.
And that's how it is with everything, Not everybody's gonna like all the same stuff. That's why you have different brands of the same items, or you have items that are similar but not quite the same, because everybody's different.
Right. And that's something that's funny. You bring up items that aren't quite the same because everybody's different. That's something Danny has talked about. He eventually wants to have a lineup to have something for everybody. That seems like that seems to be the goal for most cigar manufacturers, right? They want to have something for everybody. That way everybody's buying their stuff, whether it be Tatuaje or Arturo Fuentes or Rocky Patel, or they got to have something for everybody. Otherwise, you're only in this one market. And if you're only in this one market, eventually that market's going to go, well, what you got new? Oh, we're going to go over here.
Yeah.
You're gonna try something different.
That's how I am about cigar smoking as well. My thing is, I can buy boxes, but I like variety. I like to go into my humidor and have variety. I just don't want one stick, because then you're missing out on so much, especially with all y'all motherfuckers producing cigars now. That I know, and I gotta play catch up with. I still gotta get. Oh shit! Remind me to order Big Country Stick. I still gotta get so many cigars, man. I'm trying to catch up. But no, it's a good thing though. Like when somebody can produce a cigar, and like I said, you can go talk to the owner. You can talk to the person that produced. You can talk to who's in charge of it. You know, what other industry can you go to a place and talk to the person who produced the product? You can't go to McDonald's and talk to the CEO or something. But you can walk into a lounge and you can see Caldwell, and you can see Carlito, you can see these guys. You can see Danny D. You ain't gonna walk in a Pizza Hut and see whoever created that abomination.
So to your point, let's go with Pete Johnson. Everybody knows who Pete Johnson is, knows what Tata Wahe is, right? The man is so approachable, not just in person at the PCA, but even on here. He will jump in lives. He'll have conversations. He did a Zoom while watching the hand roll movie that he helped produce. It just, like you said, there's no other industry that I've seen that you can go and talk to the people that are having this stuff made and have an actual conversation with them, and they not talk down to you like you're below them. Yeah. And that's what's great.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Yeah, they're there to hear your taste and notes. Like, this is what I taste, this is what I think, and they actually listen to it. I mean, you can sound like a fucking idiot, because I know some people who did sound like fucking idiots, but they listen. And that's the most important. Like, they're the people that I've met as associated, they're ordinary people. They're still ordinary people. They just make great products, but they still ordinary. They still go out and talk to the people. They still go out and shake hands, and that, to me, that's important.
Exactly.
And that comes in because a lot of times they remember, like, even if they're bigger now, they remember what got them to that point. It's the people. And I mean, I think a lot of businesses lose sight of that you can have a great product, but if nobody buys it, it means absolutely nothing.
Right.
Like, it's just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and that's where you get like a lot of these people who have products, but then all of a sudden they just think, you know, they're so much better than everybody else. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the greatest, but without me, you wouldn't even be here. Like, nobody would know who you are. Nobody be talking about your product because nobody's buying it. So, I mean, you have to stay humble at times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, yeah, I mean, I just think a lot of these people, once they reach a certain level, they just lose sight of that. And they just start thinking, oh, you know, I'm the greatest. They're going to buy anything I put out. No, that ain't the case.
Right.
That ain't the case at all.
So let me ask you this, Wolf. Are you thinking of another cigar, or you gonna ride that out? You gonna ride it till the wheels fall off?
So, to be honest with you, the plan was actually to go a different route as far as line and name of the cigar. And when the Wizard got done with the logo, Danny called me and texted me the stuff and called me, and he's like, "This is what the Wizard came up with." I'm like, "That's like a luxury looking logo." He's like, "Yeah." I go, well, what if we shifted gears and changed names? He's like, "I was wondering the same thing." I was like, "Well, I'm a welding inspector. What if we called this the Hot Pass and use the welding symbol? This is a welding symbol. You'll find this on anything that's got to do with welding for drawings and stuff. And what this is this line and this arrow points at where the weld's going to be. And whether the symbol above or below the line will tell you on which side of where the arrow's pointing the weld's supposed to go. That circle there means all the way around, and that flag is for field welding. So this is a basic symbol. There's no other symbol telling you what kind of weld you're supposed to do. But when I told him that, there's so much to do with welding that this line can be expanded, because there's so many different welds that can be put above and below the line to say that it's now called this because that's the symbol that's on there. And the hot pass is the first pass in pipe welding. So your first pass is also called the root pass. But in pipe welding, it's called the hot pass. Was my first cigar, the hot pass. Danny likes his double meanings. I was like, this would be perfect.
Okay.
I would love to do more, but that ball's not in my court. That ball's in Danny's court because Danny's the man with all the connections. Danny's the man with the people and the players in the game. He's the one that did all the legwork to get this thing rolling for himself. He just was gracious enough to bring me into it. Now, whether it's this one and that's it, I don't know. It depends on and how Danny progresses with his company and where he wants to go as far as my continued process, progression in the business with him. But I would love to do some work. As I tell you what, Danny, like I said, I didn't know nothing other than just talking to Danny. But sitting down and going through the numbers with Danny of what it's going to cost to do bands, what it's going to cost to make the logo, what it's going to cost to have the cigars made and sent, the waiting period for the cigars to get through customs, to get to him. He put all the bands on. He's packaging all the stuff. He's wrapping all the stuff. He's taking the stuff to ship. He's printing the labels. He's buying the ink. He's doing all the heavy lifting. I just gave him some money to pay for the cigar, for the bands, and he's doing everything else on the back end.
Nice.
Now,
I know you were saying
go ahead.
I know you were saying that like you don't have that Danny does everything because you don't have the licensing for it.
Correct.
Is that something you thought about doing, like possibly going to get licensing for it?
So that was something that when we started in the process, I asked him, I said, well, do I need to look into getting a tobacco license? And he's like, no,
Right.
we're going to do it under me, so you don't have to do that part. Eventually, the discussion has been hopefully that I can build this for my grandchildren like he's building his for his daughter. Eventually, yeah, I'm going to have to get the license. And I'm hoping when at the point where I need to get the license, because he's got the knowledge and experience of going through that process by himself and the struggles, that he can help walk me through that and maybe
Right, make it a little bit
easier than what it was for him. But
right.
yeah. I mean, if I'm gonna, I'm gonna have to know where to get these from, from the bags to the cigars themselves. But yeah, it would be great to get the license and be able to still be a part of what Danny's doing, but be my own entity, because that would be the goal, right? Would be to expand this line. Like I said, the idea was to do a different line prior to this. So that idea is still in my head, is like have two lines. Because you guys do realize Danny's got two lines, right? He's got the Alabama Rose. That's got its own line. And then he's got the Danny D cigars, which is what the hot pass,
I didn't know there was two.
Lane, the fast lane and borrowed time fall under. So those,
I know it was two separate.
So he's I mean, it's still under Deez, right? It's
but,
still, but it's no different than Tatawahe has Tatawahe, and it's got the surrogates, right? So the idea is the same. He's going to be building off of these two lines as he can, and the idea would be the same for me. It's like get some stuff, maybe a couple more under this line, see how it goes, and then do another one. Because I've already got an idea for the other one, because that was the original thought process when he talked to me about doing this.
All right, so
give him time. He's gonna have a whole construction company.
So if you can get yourself right now, you know a little bit more than you knew when you started. Now, if you right now could talk to yourself when you first started, what would be the advice? What would you tell yourself about this process that you are about to embark on?
Do more fucking research. As I know nothing about tobacco, about cigars, about different leaves, none of that. And I've done a little bit of reading since meeting Danny, but I wish I need to sit down and actually, I need to do it now. I need to sit down and actually learn more about tobacco and how they're grown, what the different leaves are, what that means when they use those leaves in a blend, and how all that works. And eventually I'd like to go to over to a factory and walk through and see it from growing to drying to rolling to aging and just see how these factories do it.
That'd be nice to see it from conception to completion. That'd be pretty cool. Like I wouldn't mind doing something like that. Like I actually wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind creating my own cigar, but that's something that is just gonna take a lot of work. And I mean, I'll get there one day. But
I'm like, well, I've had offers and I have zero interest at this particular point.
So you guys know Monarca, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys had Monarca cigars?
I haven't had any, but I have. We have talked on live. He has popped in. I just haven't had it. I said it's a list of people I got to go through, man.
So Monarca, his family rolls cigars just for them. So there's nothing saying that you can't create a cigar that's your palate, that you're liking just for you. Now he's been nice enough to share those cigars through Danny, where we've had the ability to purchase some of these and try them, and they're great cigars. But there's nothing saying that you can't do that for yourself and not necessarily do it to be a business and get into having more and more and more cigars.
right, wouldn't be bad. So I mean, like most people, I do smoke. I smoke different cigars, and I don't stick to like full body, or I don't stick to lights. I smoke them all.
According to Mr. Ray, you stick to acid?
I like acid. Acid is one of my favorite cigars. Yeah, I
just
do
give you a
like
hard
acid. My brother gives me a hard time because I actually like flavored cigars. As of right now, like that, I can smoke any type of flavored cigar. He just sent me, what was that pineapple one you sent me? I actually thought that one was really nice. Mashed potato venture. Yep.
His name is Melrose, but hold on. This dude playing music loud. Hold on.
You can't hear it on this end. Sound like you got good ones.
Amazon.
See,
driving for some reason, playing music loud. Like, do your job. You're not able to listen to music. But anyway, it's Melrose.
Melrose. Yeah. That pineapple was nice. The blueberry was too. And I'm not even a huge fan of blueberry. But I can smoke both of those. But
see, there's so many cigars to try, man. I want to say, as I'm on here and I'm talking to people, I'm meeting more people. Now I got to try your cigar. I want to try your cigar.
That was the fun thing about PCA, right? You walk around. I got the benefit, like I said, last year to go and talk to some of these people last year, hanging out with Danny, walking around. This year, Danny was doing his thing. I was there with Chalk and my kid. We were doing our thing. So I was a little bit more knowledgeable. And I was talking to people while we're going up, like, oh, I tried this one. I love this one. What you guys got new this year? And then they talk about this year's cigar, what they're dropping. It's like, well, do you have one I can try? And sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't. And when you got that new one, you were smoking so much that you don't want to light it up because you want to get that experience from it, right? Because if you light it up right then and there, your palate's burnt. You may not get a good experience from it being a new cigar. You want to give it the benefit of giving it on a good palate to say, oh, this one was fire.
So the question would be, so the question to both of y'all, actually, next year, they changed PCA. Are you going to be at the PCA next year?
It's too soon. I don't know if I'm going to be there in March.
I don't know, because we're going to be at TPE. We're going to try to get into TPE, and if it works out, I mean, I got people that'll get us in. It's just a question of,
I don't know if I want to do that much that close, because like you said, we got TPE, and then we have our event in May.
Oh yeah, we do got
so it's like,
you're right. We will be
like,
What's up,
like,
5?
Do I really want to be doing that much? What's going on?
We saw you hanging out with Alan. Shout out to Family by Loyalty. But yeah, so yeah, you're right. Damn. Yeah, you're right. Because we will be going back. So yeah, so we're going to fuck around and be Vegas out.
I'm looking forward to 2025, to be honest with you. Because if they do it in New Orleans 2025, whether it's March or July or whenever.
I'm here. I'm going.
I've been to New Orleans. I've been to Louisiana, worked a job down there for like 2 years. but I never went to New Orleans. I would love to go hang out down there for a week and do PCA and experience the generosity of the people, because I know everywhere else in Louisiana I've been, generosity is great, and it ain't nothing like going into a place and getting a beer, and not in a place that's not Vegas, buying a beer, not liking the atmosphere, walking across the street, drinking that beer, walking to another place, set that empty beer bottle down, get another beer.
But that would look like 2025 New Orleans, April 12th to 15th.
Oh,
that's it.
No, nice. There you go. Nice. I wasn't sure what the month was, but I knew it was 2025.
I got people in New Orleans, and I got family in Mississippi that can come on over. So yeah.
See me, this is when my inner fat come out. I love Cajun food.
Oh yeah, the food is. Yes.
So I gotta have the food. I'm eating the whole time I'm there. So I warn y'all see me there in 2025. I guarantee you, every time you see me, I'm gonna have something in my hand.
I mean, in your defense, you eat like that when you're not there. But look, that's not the point. The point is this. Come on, if I ain't say that, you thought something was wrong with me. Now that sounds cool. So how does it like? So Chuck won't admit it. So I'm gonna ask you because you might admit it. People know who you are, don't they, Wolfie?
To a point, yes. And,
See,
and I gotta say that's got to do with being on these lives with people like Danny, with people like you, and just getting my face out there and having conversations, or even just sitting and listening to the conversations. When I went to PCA last year, nobody knew me from Adam. I mean, they didn't know me for nothing. I've been following some people because when I got into cigars, that was the first thing somebody suggested. Follow people on Instagram that smoke cigars. You learn more about cigars following people that smoke cigars. Mm-hmm. And there were some people that I had followed that are big in the cigar industry. And I got to meet one of them that I wanted to meet. And that individual said hi, but kind of brushed me off because that individual wanted to go talk to Danny. Danny's a big name, right? Like, and especially with him at the height he is, you know, they're like, oh my God, you're way taller than we thought you were. It's like, so there is a little bit of, it's a little bit of a, I can't believe people know who I am, but at the same time, I'm not as big as someone like Chalk. And I know she won't admit it, but RS The Lifestyle, She's Smoking Pretty, and Cigar Rockstar came to Tap and Ash to meet her when we were there for the Black Star Line event. And then we got the benefit of hanging out with them throughout the night, not just there, but a couple other places. So, yeah, people know who she is. She's a big deal. She don't like admitting it. She don't want, it's probably twofold. One, she don't think that much about herself, and two, if she don't want to get a big head going and being that person that's like, well, yeah, I'm Chalk, you know. She's not that type, so
for good reason. No, yeah, I mean, it's always been funny, like when you walking around and somebody's like, hey, I know you blah blah blah. You like, yeah. Is you here to serve me? Because I might not be him if you got court papers.
Right.
Right now, I have no idea who that person is. Nope, that is not me.
I never saw him, but I hope you catch that fucking dirty, rotten scoundrel. No, that's always crazy. But yeah, you know what? You know, y'all know. People know y'all. Like we did our interview with Chalk and everybody. Hey Chalk. Nobody know me. Hey Chalk. Like I'm not even famous. Hey Chalk. Hey Chalk. Hi. I'm like, so you're just gonna ignore all that? You're just gonna
right?
None of that. Like, nope, it's not happening.
See, Wolfie don't know. They the cigar power couple.
Yeah, I don't know about being a power couple.
Well, watch. Next year, I'm telling you, if they go to PCA in 2025, there's gonna be a crowd around them. I'm like, hey, y'all, hey, I'm in the back. I'm in the back. I'm not standing on Danny D's shoulder. Guys, it's me. No, it's always fun there. So what other? You did the PCA. That's it for you for the year, or you plan on doing other events, or?
I only did PCA. No, I did last year. My first event was Cigars and Spirits. It was down in Newport Beach. My very first cigar event. It's not obviously not as big as PCA or TPE or those. PCA took a lot of time and funds last year, so I saved up a little bit more this year to make sure I had the money. I don't know if I'm going to do any more this year. Obviously, if there's something close or if I can swing it with work. I just started a new position, so I'm a manager now. So I've got people under me. I got to be able to coordinate with their time off, and the guy that's going to cover for me when I'm gone, I've got to coordinate with him. Yeah, I definitely like to do something else. 505 being on here, I know they got that Rocky Mountain one. I heard that one was like it's a one-day event, but it's like a hell of an event. I mean, that sounds like a lot of fun. If I could swing the cost to fly over there, I don't want to do what Danny did last year. He drove from California to Colorado and back. I'm like, he got way more ability to do that than me as far as patience, because I didn't like moving here from Texas. It's like
I do. I like Colorado. I like different surrounding areas and stuff. But I was thinking I might do the one in Tampa in December. I don't know why I can't remember. But Tampa got that one.
The Heritage one? The Heritage Festival?
Yeah, the Heritage Festival. I might do that because
that one sounds like that would be fun, because I could probably, meet up with somebody down there and then go down to that event. The Charlotte Cigar Week that happened, like a month or two ago? That one I think would be a fun one to go check out.
I almost drove down there, but I had work, so I ain't gonna be able to make it because it's only a 6-hour drive. So, but the Tampa flight is only like an hour and a half. So I could jump on the plane and go down there. So I definitely might do that. I think I won't even have to miss work. I just go on my week. I think it's on Saturday. I'll just go ahead, take off that Friday, enjoy my weekend, then fly back. Won't even miss work.
There you go.
It's always great when a plan comes together.
No. So I'm wondering with the BCA actually having an area in PCA this year. They actually had an area. 505 was in that area with Family by Loyalty. They were part of the BCA booths in that area. Is BCA going to do something separate this year, or was that their thing for this year? Because I know last year they had a separate event.
Yeah.
I don't remember where it was at, but if I remember right, it was like out in the middle of nowhere in like Indiana or Illinois or something.
Yeah, it was like it was in like southern Indiana. I forget the name of the fucking place. I forget the name of the place because you ain't gonna find a lot of meat in that area.
Right. So that was their thing. 506, okay. That was their thing. That was something I was interested in if they were going to do that again this year, because there's would be a lot more boutique brands to be able to go in and see and interact with and try out than what you would normally see. But if that was their event, I at least got to experience some of those boutique brands that I hadn't heard of before. There was a couple of them in there I talked to that I didn't know. Like Smoke by Ash was a reputable one. Hadn't heard of them before, so it was nice talking to them, getting to know their brand.
Yeah, I think it should definitely be a small BCA event in Miami for 4 hours. It's in my backyard next month. I don't know. It's going to be very small. I mean, yeah, it's going to be very small. Miami calls.
How big is
the
backyard?
You're going to pay $500,000. That's $1 million house. You got a backyard. Now, I think the boutique brands should get together, and I think they should do something like that. I think definitely, like how they did it last year. I think they should do it again. I think they'll drum up a lot of business. I really do, because a lot of the boutique brands are starting to get bigger and starting to get their name out there, and I think it'll drum up a lot of business. And I think you being a boutique brand as well. Danny, did you start something? Man? Start something up. I just think it'll be dope.
Danny and I talked about doing PCA this year, actually with a booth. We had that discussion, and we were trying to figure out cost, right? And even if we could get the money together for paying for the booth, the spot, right? You're talking cost for a hotel for the time. You're talking about cost for food for the time. You're talking about your travel to get there for the time that you're going to be there. The biggest cost and the biggest issue is the cigars you're giving out, because you're not making any money. You're going to have to come up front with a lot of money and hope to get a large enough supply of cigars to you in time to take to that. And I think that was the biggest thing that held that up for this year, was being able to get that supply of cigars that you're going to end up handing out to people in hopes that you're going to get people to purchase for their packages and their stuff.
Now, see, I was talking to Ish, and Ish said he liked the PCA more. He said the PCA is for like more established people. You getting, you're getting into retail and everything, and you make, you already got connections, so you just want to make connections there. But with the PCA, it was more like, you're getting not only retail, it's like the common customer as well.
Right.
Getting to meet you and try you for the first time. Pause.
So I want to give a shout out to Ish and Bam Cigars. They were the reason Chuck and I got in this year. They got us tickets. We paid him for our tickets and got in this year. We helped him set up. He was doing a collab cigar with Cigars for Warriors. He had Mark, I don't remember the man's last name. He wrote the book 13 Hours.
Yeah.
And he was there for a day signing his book.
Damn.
Rolling cigars. Having a cigar rolled right there and smoking it was a way different experience than buying a cigar off a shelf. I loved the cigar, and getting to meet Ish and his wife and the people that were there with him was another phenomenal thing that happened this year. Great man. You guys haven't tried Bam Cigars. You guys need to pick up some Bam Cigars. Man has some great cigars.
And you know what? I can remember somebody.
Mark, yes. Thank you, 505.
Somebody had a show. Somebody did a show with. Oh, it was us. Check out the show. Yeah.
Have you watched Oscar roll in person?
I haven't watched him roll in person.
I had to say, watching Oscar roll on lives, because I've seen him doing on lives, I've seen the videos posted, is a different thing in person. It's funny. I don't remember if it was day 2. I want to say it was day 2. It may have been day 3. He sat down, was getting all this stuff prepared. He rolled himself a little Lancero cigar. Mm-hmm. And he's getting it light up while he was doing his stuff. And I looked at him, I was like, you roll me one? So he rolled me a little Lancero cigar real quick. And I lit it up and stood there smoking. And that has got to be one of the coolest things at an event like that, is having someone rolling cigars right there in person that you can try right off after they're done rolling.
You tell when it be looking like, now it's my turn to roll. It's my turn to roll. It's be dying to roll. But those are guys who you could tell love their craft. And that means a lot. Like with you as well. It means a lot when somebody actually is in the community and care about it and do it, rather than somebody just trying to do it to make money. It means you come out with a better product. Because there's a lot of guys out there that's like, oh yeah, cigars are blowing up. Let's go. You know how they did it in the 90s. Cigars blowing up. Let's go get a cigar company. Let's go. And it doesn't really last because people can tell. The consumer.
Yeah, it shows in the end result.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Because, and that's like with anything. Like, if you don't really care about it, then you may not feel like you half-assing it, but you half-assing it because you're not really into it. Right. You're doing this just to make money.
Right.
So your only thing is how fast can I get this out? You know what I'm saying? How much money can I get back from it? Whereas if you actually love what you're doing, you take your time, and you actually work at it, and you won't release anything that you don't feel is perfect.
Right.
Like, obviously it's not going to be perfect, but in your eyes, it's perfect.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and that definitely shows in the end result.
And that was the thing when Denny and I were doing the test blends for my cigar. Was I had asked him, what if I don't like? Because we got 3 to start. I was like, well, what if I don't like? And he's like, then we get more. And he goes, because his name is attached to the cigar. He's like, I'm not going to let you pick something that ain't good, because he's got the better palate. So when we were doing our tests, it took us like 4 weeks to smoke through the 3 test blends with my job in the rain. And I could only smoke outside, and he wanted to do it early in the morning for a cigar, only water. You know, there's things because you wanted to get those notes. And I sat there. It was the first time I'd ever sat down and actually wrote down what notes I was getting with cigars. And I was getting my notes, and I had, you know, for the first third, the second third, and the final third, maybe 3 or 4 notes I was getting. And he had like 2 or 3 more notes because he's got a better palate. But it made me feel good that I was like, I was getting this, I was getting this, getting this. He read off what he got, and his notes were similar to mine. I mean, he referenced it with something different, but the note was similar. I'm like, okay, that made me feel good that I was actually getting something out of that cigar that he was also getting out of the cigar. It means I was actually getting the notes, and my brain was processing it, at least in a way for me that was correct to what he was getting. And everybody's palate's different. Everybody's going to get a different note and may not get all the notes that Danny gets or that I get. And but you're getting something, and you're like, that tastes like cream. Well, I got butter. So that's a similar note. Like one of the smokes, he was getting a floral note. At no point did I get a floral note. I don't know how he was getting a floral note. It's just what his palate was picking up in one of the cigars as a note. But it's that his palate's way more developed. What's up, Peter Cruising?
Yeah. All right, well, gentlemen, it's been fun. I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. I mean, we're going to be back on live. It's just it for the interview party. We'll have to flip up and probably break it in 2 pieces. No, this is a one-part interview. Okay, I thought we went long. Okay, this is one-part interview. All right. So let everybody know before we go where they can get the hot pass.
So guys can get the hot pass along with any other Danny Deez cigars by DMing Danny Deez cigars directly on Instagram, or you can go to the website, which is Hriguba, HRIGUBA.com. He's got them on there. He also has merch on there. I got my Hot Pass tumbler. He's got shirts. He's got hats. I think he's got beer glasses. He's got shot glasses. No, maybe not shot glasses. He got like whiskey glasses. Check out the website. He's got all sorts of stuff. He's always added stuff to it. But you can DM Danny directly. You can get 5 packs of any of his cigars. He's got sampler packs, which I thought was a great idea when he started doing that. So you can get a variety.
Thank you, Father.
I've tried any of them. But yeah, hit up Danny or go to Hriguba, HRIGUBA.com, and check out the website.
Thank you for coming on. I'm your local
I appreciate you guys having me.
Oh, as always, anytime, baby. I'm your local hero. Find us anywhere where you get your podcast shit. I'm your local hero with my co-host B1.
Hey, Katie Alta, bring your problems to me.
Reminding you, blow your smoke like a goddamn gentleman and gentlewoman. We out.
Peace.